From the moment that I saw the cello, that was like the beginning of the great love of my life. My father brought home one day, he brought home this magnificent little cello made by this famous maker, Bernadelle, in 1834. It's so beautiful that I kissed it and I said, "Daddy, please teach me the cello." So when he brings home a cello that's my size, it was, you know, heaven sent. Well, it meant everything because that was the beginning of my life as a concert cellist. My mother one day calls me up on the phone. I remember the experience vividly. My mother said, "Christine," and then after she says my name, she starts to sob. And she said, "A terrible thing has happened." And I said, "What has happened?" And she said, "The baby cello has been stolen."
This was kind of like a nightmare case. You know, usually the police department deals in cases where there are still paperwork, there's still notes, there's still witnesses, there's still victims. In this case, I mean, we didn't even have a crime report.
Well, first of all, who knows? This might be the only Bernadelle 8th size cello that was made. We don't know. And even though it took time until just a few years ago, when this lovely family sent me an email saying, "Our daughter is playing the cello that we believe is your first cello."
It was very tough, very tough. Is this the Bernadelle cello, or is it a look-alike made by the same maker?
Thank God. Had anybody known that it was stolen, they would have removed the label, which was the identifying factor, which said, "Fait pour la petite Comtesse Marie." That this instrument, which is in perfect condition, it has such a history, the beginning of my career, it could be the beginning of her international career, you know?
That initial decision to let Starla keep it for the moment, that must have been a hard decision for you.
No, it wasn't, because I realized the value. What if she were to go from a great instrument to then having to play a cheap instrument? She could possibly lose interest. So I said, up until the time that she will outgrow it, you must keep it. Yeah. Excellent.
Well, she taught me a lot on the cello, and it's become part of me.
Okay, now, dum, dum, chum, chum, try to do more. try to do those notes together. See? Excellent.
Well, sometimes when I'm just playing my pieces, I'll come to a part that just reminds me of her.
She's a very beautiful little girl. Well, she's now growing up, of course, so she's not as little as when I first saw her. But it was a very wonderful experience because, you see, that instrument is so beautiful. And that also has been responsible for her loving the cello.
I really wanted her to have the cello as much as I still wanted to keep it. It was really hard, but also I felt she needed the cello. It made me really happy to think about her having it again.
Life is filled with all of these things that are meant to be. Starla is my star, my lucky star. Starla is my lucky star. So this is the day we will all remember.
Forever.
In Ike's house, where we all have had such a magnificent time together and playing music and recovering our beautiful Bernadelle cello.